Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of miniScratch, a BrainScratch update. I'm your host John Lorton, and today we're going to talk a bit more about the Terri Missy Bevers case. If you don't know about that case, I have previous editions on it that you can check out in the description box below, as well as all of the usual research. I'm actually including all the research from the other videos that I've done in the description box below, so you could go through from top to bottom, really dig into this case. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, because I really hope that the right person is going to watch this video, be able to dig into this case, and really help something come out of it. I hear from many of you about this case. It is now just over 2 months since Missy was killed in a church in Midlothian, Texas. You might have seen the coverage on it. Essentially, she was there to start a workout program for a class called Camp Gladiator. It was raining outside, so she was going to do the class inside. She arrived at the church around 4 a.m., if I recall correctly. But before she got there, someone dressed up in what looks like a tactical police uniform had broken into the church. And that's kind of where the questions begin. There is footage that you can review of the person. There's been a lot of suspicion thrown in a lot of different directions. And to pick up where my last one left off, there was some suspicion around her father-in-law, basically the father of her husband. And it appears that law enforcement has basically checked out his alibi, and his alibi checks out. He was supposedly, from what I understand, in California. He did some golfing on the day before. There's a picture that's posted on Facebook of that. I have had many people tell me, you know, I could easily check in a different spot of the country. I could easily use a picture from a different time and present that. I would like to hope that law enforcement checked out his alibi a bit stronger than that. Most people were very suspicious of Randy Bevers because his body type seems to be a very close match to the body type of the suspect. In particular, there is a very specific type of walking gait that this person has, and Randy Bevers seemed to be a decent match for that, especially in some footage where he was interviewed about a shirt. This is just another weird part of this case. 4 days after his daughter-in-law was killed, Randy took a bloody shirt to the dry cleaners. Now, the story is that his Chihuahua had a fight with another family dog, and the shirt became bloody from that. It was a woman's blouse. I tried looking into this, and I did find one article that said it might have been, or it didn't say it might have been, it said it was his wife's blouse. But all the other articles seem to allude to it being worn by Randy, and there's even quotes that he was holding the Chihuahua. So I really don't know which way to go on that, but it was a woman's blouse. It did have blood on it. The police tested it. It did come back to be animal blood. It definitely was not human blood. So now, in trying to find an update for you guys today, because so many of you have asked for it, I've dug into Webslueths. I've dug into some other comment threads, just trying to figure out where this case is currently at, because quite honestly, from the media's perspective, and a lot of people on social media, it feels like this case is going to go cold. It feels like it's getting away from law enforcement, and I'm not exactly sure why. It just seems that when you have this type of video evidence, that you have a pretty good indicator of some aspects of this person. Police have said that they have more information about this person, but they haven't quite released it. What they have released is it's someone that is between 5'2" and 5'7", that is white in complexion. And that's basically all they've said, but they've alluded to the fact that they might know more about the physicality of this person. I don't know why they wouldn't release that, especially if their leads are starting to dry up. According to some news sources that I read today, they're only getting a few leads per day, or a few tips per day now, where, you know, when this thing was first going on, they were having trouble keeping up with all of it. There was also a piece of footage that came out from a store, I believe it's a sporting store if I recall correctly, that was across the way. It was a car that they were trying to find, but the footage was from a few hours before this event. I think I talked about that in the last video. I kind of had my doubts about if that was related to this event at all. I have not seen any updates on that footage, so I don't know if they located the car, ruled that out. I really have no idea. But I did bump into some information that I think might give us something to look at. And this is speculation. This is coming from a thread at MyDeathSpace.com. You know, I'm not thrilled with a name like that. However, I have to say that it did have some very good opinions going on here. Webslueths can be very heavy when you're looking into cases like this, and because there's so much additional commentary. Webslueths is not limited to people that are contributing information that they think will help progress the current theories. There's people joking in there. There's people repeating things that were said before. It takes a lot to go through Webslueths, and I found that this particular thread at MyDeathSpace.com basically had the highlights of the points that I did find at Webslueths in a much more concise place. And one of those highlights is that there are links to the unredacted search warrants. And if we take a look at the search warrants, this first one was basically a search warrant for AT&T. They were trying to get all of the cell phone information related to these individuals that are shown here. We can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 names on here. And you recognize some of them. Terri, Missy Bevers, of course her husband Brandon. A couple of new names that I wasn't familiar with before I started looking into this today. A. Tucker and C. Tucker, K. Cozine, M. Cozine, and W. Houts. So I decided to dive into researching them a little bit more today. This is a picture of A.J. Tucker, and one of the reasons why this picture was posted here is because people are saying, hey, look at that equipment. Doesn't it look familiar? If you just put the word police on it, isn't that a match for what we see in the footage? And I personally do not agree. I don't agree with that at all. This is footage this is equipment for a self-defense class. You can see that this is a padded vest. It's got padding around the neck to protect him. Even this move that she's doing, she's pretending to gouge him in the eyes. He's wearing eye protection. These are helmets in the back. If you've ever seen a self-defense class, this equipment is perfectly normal. This is so people don't hurt themselves while they're teaching these methods. And I do not believe that this is a reasonable match for the outfit we see here. One of the big questions about this outfit is it legit, or is it made of like kind of Halloween costume pieces? I still can't find a solid answer to that. I personally believe that it's costume pieces. I think that the helmet is much too shiny. It looks like a cheap plastic that would be used for almost like a baseball helmet or something like that. And I don't believe that real tactical gear would be that shiny, because it would give away the location. I mean, it would give your people that you're dealing with an excellent target to aim for. I don't think the helmet would be that shiny. Also, the padding on the person, it doesn't appear to me to have plates in it, which usually there's some type of bulletproof plating in there. The movement of it, it doesn't look quite right to me, but that's purely speculation, totally my opinion. So AJ, I believe this is his wife, and I saw her name mentioned several times in all this, and it took me a while to trace down why is she coming up in this. I believe her name's Courtney, if I recall correctly. And up here we can see that someone has taken the video footage and tried to clean it up and did a pretty decent job at getting some of these details to shake out, particularly around the eyes. So at the end of this video, I've edited together a little something for you guys where I'm taking photos of most of the people that I'm discussing today. There's a few of them I couldn't find photos on. AJ himself is African American, so of course he doesn't fit the profile of having white skin. So I've taken the people that do seem to fit the profile. I've even included Randy in there, and I'm going to do kind of a side-by-side comparison using this photo. And then what I'm going to do with their photos that I get is I'm going to make them black and white, and I'm going to add blur to them until they're blurred to approximately the same amount of blur that I see over here. Once again, this is not scientific. I'm just trying to do the best that I can with the materials that I can get access to. And I do think that this picture might be helpful, particularly when you look at it like that, doing side-by-side comparisons. So let's get a little more detail on who we're going to review in that. So yeah, AJ Tucker won't be in the slide show at the end. Courtney Tucker will. You know, I have an article I actually found that has better information. Let me find that for you real quick. Here we go. Down here we got the names. So AJ Tucker, we've pretty much ruled out. Courtney Tucker, I'm going to throw in the slideshow. Kevin Cozine, I haven't found a lot of information about who he is or why he was being looked at. I've seen some things that allude to him possibly being a friend of the husband. What is certain is that his daughter is friends with Missy, one of Missy's daughters. I have found linkage to that on Twitter in particular. This is Kevin's Twitter account. If you go through it, he's at kcozine. If you go through it, you'll see what seems like a religious family man, seems to love his wife and his daughter quite a bit. Here's a picture of his wife, who is also on that list. So I will use this picture in the slideshow. I'll also be using this picture of Kevin. And I just rolled it back to the date of when this occurred. And in Kevin's thread, there is no mention of the murder at all. However, in his wife's thread, you can see that she retweeted a message from Missy's daughter, Hannah, here. And there's a couple of supporting messages where she has retweeted some things, particularly from her daughter, about them dealing with Missy's death. So, but there's moments like this where it just, I don't know, these people seem like a pretty happy couple to me. Also, their body types don't particularly seem to be a good match. There's one picture, let me see if I can find it here. Here's a picture of them actually at a statue that I recognized from a different photo. Here is Missy at the same statue. I don't know what this is. It looks like it might be some type of supermarket or food court, or I don't know if it's a movie theater or something, but we see Missy here, and we see Michelle here with her husband. And I don't think that their body types are a good match, but regardless, I'll go ahead and put their pictures in at the end so we can take a look at that. So on the search warrant, they also have Randy Bevers listed. They have Vicky Bevers listed. And there's been some confusion. I don't know if I cleared it up in the last video, but there is another mother-in-law. Basically, Brandon's real mom has separated from his dad, and his dad remarried Vicky. So let me just get that all cleared up here. Vicky, outside of seeing the search warrant for her, there's not been a lot of focus on her. I don't know if the alibi that checks out for her husband also cleared her, but I'm going to go ahead and add her in the photo lineup at the end so you can check it out for yourself. Now there's one more name on here, W. Houts, and I have not been able to find information on this. I did find some little mention of another person who actually wasn't on that list in a comment here on DallasNews.com on their crime blog. This comment here posted by David Harden. It is now obvious that there were problems in the marriage, and it seems that she was having an affair. However, one of persons of interest, Casey Williams, is too controlled for this and is also very physically fit and smaller, and his pretty blonde wife is even smaller, thin. No way either of them committed this crime. So I did try to find some information about Casey Williams. Unfortunately, with a name like that, it's an extremely common name. I was not able to dig up a picture for him, so I won't be able to add him to the slideshow at the end. But that's about it. That's the list of people that at least police were looking into. Now, of course, there is always the thought that this is someone outside of this list. Some of the popular theories kicking around are, is it the scorned wife of someone that Missy might have been flirting with? Is it someone that Missy's husband had been dating at some point that wanted them to be together. There's still many people that are looking at Randy as being a potential suspect despite the alibi. There's still some people that think that it was a random thing, that it was literally someone that was there to steal from the church and she just happened to be there at the wrong time. I personally have trouble with that from the footage. The way that I see the footage, it looks to me like the person is hanging out. They don't seem to be doing a very good job of robbing the place, if that's really what they're there to do. They don't have a bag, so I don't know how they're going to carry out whatever they're robbing. It also occurred to me, I watched this video a lot again today. It also occurred to me, there's one point where it looks like they're trying to open a door and they're using the claw side of a hammer, trying to wedge it between the door and the door frame. And if you look in that hallway, all of the doors have their hinges facing into the hallway. I don't know if all men, but most men would probably realize if they've done any type of door hanging, it's pretty easy to usually pop the pins out of the hinges, and that's usually a much easier way to open doors if you're trying to get in somewhere, rather than trying to brute force. I don't even know how that would work, the way that they were trying to get the claw hammer in there. So it seems to me, not to necessarily say that that means it was a woman, but it seems to me that this is someone that wasn't wholly familiar with construction, maybe not someone that does a lot of handiwork around the house, things of that nature. The other thing that came up, which was a really good comment I saw from someone, about the bloody shirt. Why? Why would you take that to the cleaners? Why would you keep that shirt? Would you really want to wear the shirt that your beloved pet died in while you were carrying him, holding on to him, driving to the vet? I think that's a really good point. And I'm also starting to wonder, is that bloody shirt potentially being used as a bit of a red herring? For example, let's say that some more bloody clothes were found at the home of the father-in-law and the stepmother-in-law. Would that be their excuse? Hey, look, you guys already checked this out. We know that we had blood on our clothes because of our dead dog. Is that potentially why Randy took that there at the time that he did? Was he worried maybe that police had taken his trash or something along those lines and he was trying to create some type of alibi or cover for it? I don't know, but my brain's really itching on that one, because I can tell you for a fact, if one of my pets died in my arms bleeding all over some garment of mine, I can't think of any garment that I would keep. How would you feel the next time you saw it or the next time you went to wear it? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Admittedly, people are different. Maybe it was a really nice shirt that he wanted back for some reason. I don't know. But I think we've gone over this enough. I wish that there was better updates for you guys on this. There just is not a lot of information out there, but at least we got to look into the warrants. We're looking into who the police are looking into. And my ultimate hope is that between that, these new names that maybe you didn't know before, and the footage that you see at the end of this video, maybe that will jog someone, maybe that will shake loose the clue that gets to the law enforcement authorities and helps them solve this case. I'm truly hoping that this will help the authorities do that. And I hope that you're a part of that. So do me a favor, for the next minute or two, just kind of blank your mind, look at the things, the images that come up as I'm presenting them, and make your own conclusion. I'm not even going to tell you what I think, because I don't want to tilt your judgment one way or the other. Make your own conclusion. Does one of those faces match the face on the other side of the screen? And that's it for the picture review. Is there someone that seemed to be a match in there for you? Do you think it was none of them? I don't know, but I'm hoping that that information, that those images might jog someone's memory. If it's not you, maybe it's a friend of yours. I know I have a lot of viewers in Texas. Please, please, please share this information. Share it with everyone that you know down there, and let's find this person and let's bring them to justice. It's just, this family deserves it, all of them. And the family that's being blamed that might not have anything to do with this, they deserve it just as much as anyone else. So thank you so much for spending time with me today on miniScratch, and I hope you have an excellent weekend. I will see you next time on the Geek and Dorks channel. Take care.